Hello friends, and welcome to my Old Coin History Our Coin channel. Here, we explore the fascinating world of coins from around the globe, from rare old coins to modern treasures. If you love history, culture, and collecting, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with our journey into the history of money. The 1962 one-penny coin from the United Kingdom is one of the most recognized pre-decimal coins ever issued under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. It stands as a representation of Britain's transition period between its vast imperial legacy and the coming of a modern decimalized era. Minted by the Royal Mint, this coin was part of the last generations of British pennies struck before the currency system changed in 1971. Every detail on the 1962 one-penny coin, from its weight and composition to its artistic imagery and historical symbolism, reflects centuries of British tradition, craftsmanship, and national identity. The obverse front of the 1962 one-penny features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This was the first definitive coinage portrait of the young queen, introduced in 1953 after her coronation. The effigy shows Elizabeth II facing right, wearing a laureate crown rather than a diadem, emphasizing youth, purity, and continuity with classical design traditions. The inscription surrounding her profile reads, Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina F. Laughing Face, which expands to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This Latin inscription symbolizes both her divine right to rule and her role as head of the Church of England. The portrait's smooth, unpretentious design marked a new artistic era for British coinage, moving away from the more formal representations seen under previous monarchs like George VI and George V. On the reverse back side of the 1962 one-penny coin, the central image features Britannia, the female personification of Britain, seated proudly facing right. She is depicted wearing a Corinthian helmet and flowing robes, holding a trident in her left hand, symbolizing naval strength, and resting her right hand on a shield bearing the Union Jack. To her left, the sea extends into the distance, with a lighthouse faintly visible, representing maritime vigilance and the island nation's long naval history. Below the image appears the denomination, 1 penny, and at the very bottom, the date 1962. Britannia had appeared on British pennies for over 300 years, dating back to the reign of Charles II in 1672, and her presence on this coin links the 1962 issue to a deep tradition of empire and maritime pride. The 1962 one penny was made of bronze, an alloy typically composed of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It had a diameter of 30.81 millimeters and a weight of 9.45 grams, making it a large and heavy coin by modern standards. The edge was plain, smooth, with no lettering or reading. This heavy bronze design was originally conceived during the Victorian period and remained largely unchanged for decades. The durability and distinct size of the penny allowed it to circulate widely across the United Kingdom and even throughout parts of the Commonwealth. By the early 1960s, however, inflation and modernization were making such large bronze coins increasingly impractical, paving the way for the later introduction of the smaller decimal 1 pence coin in 1971. In 1962, the Royal Mint struck millions of these pennies, ensuring they circulated broadly across Britain. While not rare in terms of mintage, they have become nostalgic symbols of Britain's pre-decimal coinage system, used daily in shops, markets, and public houses across the country. The penny of that era was worth 1/240th of a pound sterling, part of a complex old system where 12 pence made a shilling and 20 shillings made a pound. Collectors today often seek the 1962 penny in high-grade condition, especially uncirculated or proof specimens, for their historical and aesthetic value rather than their intrinsic rarity. From a historical perspective, the 1962 one penny is significant for being part of the final decade of the pre-decimal coinage era. It reflects a moment when Britain was still deeply connected to its imperial identity, with colonies and dominions across the globe still bearing the monarch's effigy on their own currencies. The coin circulated during a transformative era. The early 1960s were a time of social, cultural, and political change in Britain, leading toward modernization and decolonization. Thus, the 1962 penny carries symbolic weight as a small artifact from the waning days of Britain's global empire and the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The artistic craftsmanship of the 1962 penny is also noteworthy. Mary Gillick's Obverse portrait was particularly praised for its classical simplicity and lifelike representation. Unlike later portraits by Arnold Machen or Raphael Maklouf, Gillick's version depicts the Queen without a tiara, evoking timeless beauty and youthful dignity. The reverse design by Leonard Charles Wyon, originally introduced in 1895 during Queen Victoria's reign, was so admired that it remained in continuous use for decades. The combination of Gillick's and Wyon's designs gave the 1962 penny an aesthetic balance between modernity and tradition, between the youthful monarch and the ancient national symbol of Britannia. As for its collectible value, the 1962 one penny is common in circulated condition but can fetch higher prices when preserved in exceptional quality. Brilliant uncirculated examples, often found in original royal mint sets, display a bright reddish bronze luster. Such coins are valued not for rarity but for the remarkable preservation of detail in Britannia's trident, helmet, and shield, as well as the Queen's hair and laurel leaves. Variations in die quality and tone also interest collectors, as do proof-like strikes produced in small numbers for special sets. Beyond its numismatic aspects, the 1962 penny remains an object of cultural memory. For many Britons, it evokes memories of childhood pocket money, school lunches, and public transport fares, all priced in old pennies and shillings. It represents a tangible link to a world before decimalization, when British currency was steeped in centuries of custom. The large bronze penny was a coin that truly felt weighty in the hand, connecting everyday people with the enduring symbols of monarchy and nationhood. When decimalization arrived in 1971, the old pennies like the 1962 issue were withdrawn from circulation, officially ending their use. Yet even after their withdrawal, millions were kept as souvenirs, tokens of nostalgia for an older Britain. Today, these coins continue to be studied by historians, collected by enthusiasts, and displayed in museums as examples of mid-20th century British craftsmanship. In conclusion, the 1962 one penny of Queen Elizabeth II stands as more than just a small coin. It embodies a convergence of history, art, and national identity, a bronze link between Victorian traditions and modern Britain. Its portrait of a young queen, its enduring image of Britannia, and its solid bronze composition together tell a story of continuity and change. Whether admired for its artistry, remembered for its role in daily life, or preserved as a collector's keepsake, the 1962 penny remains one of the most beloved coins in British numismatic history.